Hello again, people of the internet. Thank you so much for joining me. First of all, you might be wondering why I am wearing sunglasses when it is after 10 at night and I'm inside the house. And that is because I look like shit. Because I woke up at 4:30 this morning and I worked 13 and a half hours and my eyeballs look like this. And I couldn't do anything about it, so here we are. Also, I'm hoping that you guys judge me by the content of my video rather than the baggage underneath my eyes. And speaking of baggage, that's what we're talking about today. In this video, I am going to be giving you 5 tips on packing a carry-on for your next trip that people don't typically talk about. I started recording a video last night, but I may or may not have had too many drinks, and so I did not finish it. Last night's Angie is going to give you 4 tips on traveling, and tonight's Angie is going to give you the last one. So let's see what last night's Angie was talking about. I'm sorry that this video is a little late, but you know what they say, better late than pregnant. Anyways, let's get right into it. Tip numero uno. Don't stress yourself out about packing. It's going to be okay, I promise. Most of us only wear like 5 or 6 outfits while we're at home anyway. So what I do is just pick 3 or 4 outfits from that. Also, I think that a lot of people feel like if they forget something, they're just going to have to live without it for however long they're going to be gone for. But that's not true. If you forget something, chances are the place that you're going to will have a place that you can buy it in. I promise you. I promise. It's going to be okay. Don't stress out. I'm so chill about it that I don't even pack until the day before I leave. Also, I think it helps me pack less if I do it that way. And speaking of packing less, that is tip numero dos. You don't have to pack your entire life into a suitcase. If anything, once I do my packing, I look at it again and I try to take out a few things because I know, especially for me, I'm going to buy some stuff while I'm there. I'll probably buy new shirts, a scarf, and things that'll make the other things that I packed obsolete. So I really try to pack very lightly, and that also helps me leave a lot of space in my backpack for the things that I am going to take home. Tip numero tres. I've been practicing my Spanish. Check the weather at least 3 to 4 times a week before you leave. It will make a world of difference in your wardrobe choices. For instance, my friend and I are going to Lima and Cusco. So when Nelly and I looked yesterday, the high for Lima was in the 80s, whereas the high for Cusco was in the lower 60s. So I pretty much have to have a wide array of options because I don't want to be sweating to death in Lima, but I also don't want to be freezing to death in Cusco. Tip numero cuatro. Make sure the stuff that you might need to get to is easily accessible. For instance, I like to put my liquids in my little Ipsy bags. I probably have 100 million of these little bags. So what I do is I put all of my liquids in one of them so I know exactly which one I'm looking for. Probably not this one because it's not big enough. And I stick it at the very top of my bag so that when I go through security checkpoint, I can just pull it right out without having to rip my bag open. Also, I always put my electronics in the front, like my Kindle and my laptop, because I know that I'm going to have to pull it out. And it makes going through the security checkpoint so much easier. But I'm not just talking about security checkpoints. Make sure your charging cords are on your outside pockets so that if your phone ends up dying, you can get to it really easily. So those are some pretty legit tips, right? Well, let me give you tip numero cinco. Make a bag that's specifically packed for things that you may need on the plane while you are flying. I usually use something about this size. I'm not exactly sure what the measurements are, but I'm gonna go check real quick. BRB. Okay, so, oh shit, I forgot to put my shades on. So it's about 14 inches long and 11 inches tall. The size allotted for personal items differs from airline to airline, so be sure to check on that. Also, some airlines just don't allow a personal item in general if you are bringing a carry-on. Which brings me back to tip numero dos. If you pack light, you'll be able to put your personal item in your luggage, and then you'll be able to take it out when you get on the plane. It's nice to have everything you need in one little space, especially so you don't have to go into the overhead bin 1,000 times. Here's a list of things that I like to keep in my little baggie. I always keep my headphones, my backup charger, I keep my Kindle in there, my inflatable pillow, chapstick, lotion, a toothbrush, and things like medicines and snacks. Whatever you think you might need, put it in your little in-flight baggie. So let's go ahead and recap. Number 1, don't stress yourself out. Number 2, don't pack too much. Number 3, don't forget to check the weather. Number 4, make sure the things that you need to access often are put in the outer compartment so you can get to them easily when you need them. And number 5, don't forget to put together an in-flight baggie. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Like I said, sorry again that this video was late, but I appreciate you guys watching it. I hope that these tips will be helpful for you for your next trip. And I know in my last video, I said that we would go over what I was bringing with me to Peru and what I usually bring with me. And honestly, I have a million excuses, but all I'm going to say is that I am going to do it next week, which will be great for me because I will actually be packing a week in advance, whereas I normally pack, like I said, the day before. I hope to see you guys next week. Bye.
If you enjoyed this video and have the desire to see more, be sure to hit subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on my other social medias. I hope to see y'all next Wednesday. Toodaloo, motherfucker.